history. You hear about this and you read about that. I don't want to look at Grumpy Cat. This is how to watch TV. What's that I hear? You hear the Lost finale. It's not your fault that you can't see what we see. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV.
Chronologically Lost with Joel and Jenna. My name's Joel.
My name is Jenna. We're brought to you by Comeuppance Network, and you can find all of our social media links at thisishowtowatchtv.com.
That is all accurate information. We are here to discuss Chronologically Lost, episode 91, 2007, The Island, days 6 to 7. So it became day 7 when it was like after sundown.
That's usually what happens.
But I mean, or did we see? I can't remember when there was a day to night switch here. I didn't write it down this time for whatever reason.
I don't know.
Huh. Okay. Well, anyway, we start on day 6 at the temple, and Jack stares into the water reflection of the pond. That looked very much like the Jack becoming the leader scene. If you remember that, when it's not, we haven't seen it yet.
He was looking into the water by the...
There was a pond.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, there was a river that he was standing at, or a creek or something.
Mm-hmm.
Dogan says he was afraid Jack left, and he gets that Ford, Austin, and Quan are not coming back. Hurley's playing tic-tac-toe with Miles. They keep tying. What do you think that's about? Because they're both dead communicators? They can't best the other one?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like there were dead people there like, oh, his next move is going to be,
Oh, that would be better if that were the case.
Although,
Absolutely.
as an adult, it's really hard to lose in tic-tac-toe. I mean, you've got to be a moron. I don't know.
But you can also tie a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm down with tying a lot. But if you're losing, it's because you're playing a child and you're meaning to lose.
And then they go looking for snacks because everybody gets snacks, winners or losers. Jacob is sitting on the steps of the pool, all like emo. He was like a rejected girl. I don't know.
I'm crying over here. Oh, hi, Hurley.
Oh, you noticed me crying?
Yeah.
So he's here because he needs Hurley. He tells him to grab a pen. You need to write it down. And tells him that someone is coming to the island, and I need you to help them find it. Boom, lost. Okay. Is he talking about Widmore?
I have no idea.
Like, he's got to be talking about Widmore.
He said someone is coming.
Right.
I kind of assumed at that point that they were talking about that chick that's with Ben and...
You mean Alana?
Yeah, but she's already there.
Correct.
Did he say coming to the island? Did he actually say those words?
Yeah, you need to help them find the island.
Oh, okay. I guess he would mean Widmore, but why would he keep him away all those years then?
I don't know that he did.
Just Ben did?
What if Widmore was the candidate, and he was taking care of the island, and Ben usurped him and kicked him off, and all he ever wanted to do was get back to the island that he was supposed to protect?
Maybe.
But his time is up now. He grew too old before he got to be ageless.
Why? He can't just stay old.
Yeah, but then he's old.
60?
Right, but he can't do the things a 25 or a 30-year-old could do.
What does he need
physically?
To do?
What do you mean?
I mean, if they have all these powers, what does he need to do?
Well, I don't know.
He tells other people to kill other people, so it's not like he needs to be like able to be in a manhunt fight.
Those are things. A manhunt fight situation. I often find myself in a manhunt fight situation. Hashtag manhunt fight situation. Jesus Christ. What are you doing? Oh, man. Okay, so we come back from the opening credits, and we're at the temple, and Saeed is asking why everyone's staring at him, and he's confused, but knows Jack is hiding something. You're not going to get it. You're going to smack your beers and spill it all over the mixing board.
I waited, and then I
missed it.
I got it.
I was not convinced. So Jack tells him that the pill was poison, and they said whatever happened to him happened to someone else too.
Whatever happened, happened.
Yes. Exactly. Whatever happened to him happened to someone else too. That's what they really meant by whatever happened. There are multi-gnats here, and it's making me
I killed
angry.
one.
There's one right there floating
I already killed
in
it.
the middle. That's,
I'll get it. Come this way. Come
so Hurley wrote a bunch of stuff on his arm, and he's looking for a secret passage. I did see 108 on there, 108 degrees. He was looking for a secret passage in the wall, and then Dogen catches him, and he's like, I'm just looking around because like I'm a fan of temples and stuff. There are multi-gnats. I just told you that.
I caught one. I got one. I caught it. It's going to come home with me.
That's your new pet. So Jacob appears and says to tell Dogen he can do what he wants. He's a candidate. He's like, I can do what I want. I'm a candidate. Who told you that? Don't worry about it. He tells Dogen to go back to the courtyard. He's like, why don't you leave? I mean, I feel like you're having more fun with gnats.
I'm listening. I'm into
it. Jacob is asking why he didn't bring Jack. And he's like, you ever try to get Jack to do something? It's literally impossible. Like, there's no...
Right.
And he's like, if you got suggestions, I'm open to it. And Hurley tells Jack to be cool, act natural. I feel like that happened before. Who was that with? Do you remember that? Was that... Oh, it was Hurley and Sawyer.
I thought it was...
Remember, he's like, be cool.
Charlie.
No, he was fucking with Sawyer when he told him that the crew was going to kick him out from the beach. They were going to, banish him.
Yeah.
And he's like, be cool. Don't let anybody see. I knew this
wasn't that
seemed
Hurley,
familiar.
like, playing Sawyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's playing Jack to get what he wants.
Yeah, I know.
He's not good at it, I think is the point.
Yeah.
By showing us him doing it like that, he's like, like kicks foot on, the way people do. He's going to go wait 10 seconds and follow him. He found a secret tunnel to the jungle. Jack's like, I'm not going anywhere. And he's like, Jacob said to tell you, you have what it takes. And Jack does this whole, what?
I don't get it, though. What was that from? Like, because his dad said he didn't have what it takes?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess.
I mean, he heard that his whole life. So to hear somebody say the opposite, that he does have what it takes, in that exact wording, is going to make him turn his head. Yeah, I think that's the point. Jack asks where Jacob is, and he's like, sort of dead. He's like, if you want to talk to him, he's where we're going. We go to Claire, and Jen wakes up in a nightmare scenario with his leg and his surroundings. She has explosives and a squirrel baby in a crib. I mean, the explosives aren't also in the crib. The explosives are just there. But you had to get it, right?
I think I got it.
That last time?
I think so. I just didn't want it jumping in my hair.
Unbelievable.
It was
jumping. Weird. So he looks around, his legs torn up. There's explosives.
It was awful. There's super disgusting.
A squirrel baby in a crib under some stuff.
Was it a squirrel? It looks like
a squirrel skeleton. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. It was.
That was a giant skeleton. It was just a squirrel?
I don't know. People called it the squirrel
baby.
I don't remember what it is exactly. So Claire comes back with Justin, and she says she wants to talk to him about where he's hiding her son. She tells Jen that she's got to get the wound cleaned up, because if there's one thing that'll kill you around here, it's infection. Which is what they say Saeed and her both have, that they're infected.
See, but I thought that she was more referencing what Rousseau's people died from.
Right. That's still the same thing they're referencing.
Okay.
That the evil got into them. That's how they would have clarified it if we could have had it spoken by the same people that are saying it now. They would have said that Robert and Montand got, they became the smoke monster. They became evil.
I thought that they literally had like fevers and got sick and died.
No, they tried to kill her.
They were all mad in the head?
Yeah, something like that.
I thought that they had...
So they could have been spoken to by the man in black and been convinced that she was evil or something. I've never thought of it like that, but what if he was whispering to them, so to speak?
Well, I mean, he just talked Saeed into doing all this shit. Right. So, I mean, he is easily swayed. So that's why they have the touch of evil enough to... They've been compromised, is what they did say. So it makes sense.
Claimed. Yeah, they've been claimed. But yeah, maybe it was...
I thought he said compromised. I mean, he did say claimed at one point, too.
Yeah. So he asks if she's been out here by herself this whole time. And she's like, no, I'm not by myself.
No, my dad's here. And my brother just got here.
Yeah, Justin thinks she's going to kill them both. And We go back to the jungle where Hurley and Jack are walking and stumble upon Kate's backpack, and then Kate. Of course, Kate had to be there too. She says Sawyer is on his own. She's going to find Claire, and Jack tells Kate that something happened to Claire. And, he's like, why don't you just come with us? And he's like, dude, Jacob didn't invite Claire. So, no.
You mean Kate?
Kate, yeah, sorry. Okay. Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Where are we at?
Well, Jacob didn't invite Claire either. That still makes sense.
She was also uninvited.
Yes. Claire is cooking something and sharpening her axe.
She wasn't cooking something.
What the fuck was she throwing in the hot?
She was boiling water and, sterilizing the stuff
that doesn't seem like she's cooking. Boiling water.
Boiling water and clearly throwing in the supplies.
See what she was throwing in. That was what I was saying.
God, why don't you pay attention to the show?
Shit.
I was watching this while I was driving today. I'm just kidding. Anywho.
So Justin wants Jen to untie him so he can snap Claire's neck. How the fuck did she know that? Did she just have that good of hearing that she heard that he asked? Because she ends up giving Jen shit about it later.
You gotta be joking. I've killed 3 gnats in the video.
There's nothing in here. I don't understand what the problem is. So Claire apologizes to Jen about the trap, and she said she had to stitch herself up once. That sounds not fun. She's determined to get Justin to tell them where they took Aaron, and she's like, my father told me, then my friend told me. My friend?
Who's her friend?
Locke.
Oh, okay.
She asks if Jen is her friend, and she swings the axe menacingly and says it's Justin's turn.
Are you my friend?
Yeah.
Let's be friends. Well, I'll be friends.
Right. In the jungle, Hurley apologizes for cock-blocking Jack with Kate.
Yeah.
And he asks what happened to them, and he's like, yeah, you guys figured you'd have a bunch of kids? He's like, I'd be a terrible dad. So we're getting this whilst seeing Jack being a dad in the sideways regularly.
Okay.
They stumble across Shannon's inhaler. So it wasn't Sawyer.
What wasn't Sawyer?
He didn't steal them. They found the inhaler. Remember, they tortured him for that shit?
Oh, she dropped it
somewhere. Yeah. They revisit the Adam and Eve bodies, and Hurley's like, what if we, time travel to dinosaur times and get buried here, and that's our bodies? What if the skeletons are us, man? Jack asks if he ever told Hurley how he found this place, and he's like, you were looking for water, right? No, I was sort of chasing the ghost of my dad.
Right.
Chasing Ghost Dad, starring Bill Cosby. Not anymore, though. Not because of the Cosby stuff.
Ew.
Weird. We don't Ghost Dad anymore. He led him here. Why did he lead them there? To find, do you think is the smoke monster in the same way that Jacob must be able to see all the things time-wise? Because it doesn't really make sense that he would have led Jack to the cave at the time as his father. And goddamn, that's why there were 2 kids of his. That's why Christian had 2 kids on the island. Because then the smoke monster wanted to take that body for that purpose. To be able to manipulate 2 people, potentially.
No, his body was there. It was convenience.
His body wasn't there, though. Not anymore. Jack never found his body.
That's because it's probably in a tree up high rotting somewhere.
That's possible, too.
Or it fell out in the water.
It was opportunistic for the smoke monster to become the Christian, because then he got to not only lead Jack to where he wanted to lead him to, the caves.
Yeah.
He also got to manipulate Claire at this point as Man in Locke.
Yes.
But he started with she said I talked to my father and Locke.
Yes.
And my friend. So she thinks they're 2 different people.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So he's double manipulating her. So Jack smashed the coffin because he wasn't in it. His dad wasn't in it. Hurley says, this is old school, walking through the jungle on our way to do something we don't understand. Good times.
Right.
Why did Jack come back? And he flips the question around on Hurley, and Jack's like, Hurley's like, Jacob got in my cab and sort of said to come back. Jack came back because he was broken, and he was stupid enough to think this place could fix him. I mean...
He's always been broken.
Right.
So, get over it, Jack.
Right.
God.
They make their way to the lighthouse, and he's like, "How did we never see this before?" He's like, "I guess we weren't looking."
No, he was just asking for.
Or was it hidden like the source, where only Jacob, if he wanted you to get there, could you get there?
Well, to be fair, it's not like they ever were like, you know what, let's scope out the island. Let's just walk around the whole perimeter, because they didn't. They never walked to the entire beach of the whole island. Right. They would go from their beach camp to New Otherton and then back.
Now, I know we're not going with the real logistics of Hawaii, the island that they used. However, you know the rocks with the two and the pie-shaped rocks? Mm-hmm. Literally, like, they're here, right up the hill is the lighthouse.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I took a picture of the lighthouse, or with the base of it behind me, and I added it digitally, the rest of the lighthouse into the picture.
Cool. Yeah, I mean...
And it was a cool picture where I was smoking a cigarette, because that was cool back then.
Oh, yeah, smoking. Totally sweet. I remember that.
God, I miss smoking.
Good old days. Anyway.
Okay, that was my favorite thing ever. Claire is interrogating Justin about Aaron, and Jen tells Claire to hold on. And we see that the others branded her.
Yes.
What is that shit?
That's what they did.
Oh, the test was Saeed. Fuck, I just didn't click. Okay, got it. Justin says she's not remembering things right. So I want to know their version. Like, there are things that I want to know more about.
They were probably trying to save her from being contaminated by Man in Black. So they probably tried to drown her in the water to rid her of whatever.
Right.
And then they did all the tests to try but they couldn't save her. She was already turned.
Well, as you said, the scale was tipped.
Yeah. She was already in favor of the Man in Black.
So Jen tells Claire Kate took Aaron with her off the island, and Justin's like, yeah, totally. And then Claire stabs him in the stomach with the axe and walks away all casual. Right. Just like, yeah, no big deal. I do this on the reg.
Yeah.
Axe
I don't
to chest.
care if he lied or not.
And he instantly died from axe to chest.
Yeah.
That seemed like, ow!
Right. I know, because, like...
God damn it, why you actually...
Yeah, Jin is, like, laying there bleeding out from the freaking jaws of death on his ankle.
Right.
But this guy gets a little puncture wound in the stomach.
A little puncture wound, it is an axe, but yeah, I hear you. Dead. It seemed like he's very quickly dead.
I feel like he could have been like, you bitch! I can't believe you stabbed me!
Yeah, you crazy shit. At the lighthouse, the door's stuck. And he's like, does it say anything about the door being stuck on your arm? Jack's just busting his balls for writing everything down. Then he kicks it open and they go upstairs. They find the wheel at the top, and Hurley thinks Jacob built this to help get ships here. And he's turning the wheel to 108 degrees, and then as it's passing, it passes 42, and Jack sees the temple where Jen and Son were married.
Okay.
And then he tells Hurley to stop. He says he saw something in the mirror, and he sees the names on the wheel, and he asks him to turn it to 23, and it's his childhood home. And Jack, like, loses his shit because he figures out Jacob's been watching him the whole time. And considering the fact that...
Which is weird.
Jacob didn't even come to him until... he didn't even come to him until he got to when he was a doctor.
Right.
When he gave him the Apollo bar or whatever. So it's weird that he watched him all that time before speaking with him. He needed him to be broken. Maybe he wasn't that broken as a kid to where he was lost enough to... I
mean, I feel like they showed plenty of scenes of him as a kid being broken, getting beaten up by the other
I guess so, yeah.
His dad was
but he seemed to be standing his ground then.
Yeah.
He was going against what his dad wanted, which seemed to be the right way to go at the time. You know, he was like, no, my friend. He's like, they do that to you? Don't get involved. That's shitty advice as a parent. Yeah. I mean, I get it, but...
I mean, I feel like I gave that advice to your son today. He's like, that jerk at the park punched me in the stomach. I'm like, don't go by him. Please don't. He said he hit me in the nipple or something, and that's my privates. And I was like, don't go by that kid. Like, what the hell?
So, yeah, let's see. Jack has questions, and he just starts smashing the mirrors.
Right.
That happened quickly.
He smashed them with the telescope. No, go to, like, Hurley's number.
They didn't even go to 108. Which was the point of going up there.
Yeah, so now nobody's getting to the island. Damn it.
Was Widmore 108?
108 had to have been, like, maybe that was the lamppost that they could then see the island or something. I don't know.
Shit.
I mean, that would have been cool.
Damn it, Jack. So Jacob shows up to talk to Hurley, and Jacob points out that Hurley has ink on his forehead. Because he's been...
Yeah.
He was lamenting that he fucked up, that he blew the task, so he was just holding his head.
I figured he was just sweaty.
That also, but yeah, it's like, you got ink on you. He loses it about not having accomplished the mission. He's like, mission not accomplished. And Jacob says he's sure they will find another way to get to the island. He's like, everything you wanted me to get done didn't get done, and you don't even care. He's like, the plan was to get Jack... He figures out that the plan was to get Jack to smash the mirrors.
Why?
I don't know. He says he's got to do something, but he has to find it himself. Jacob talking about Jack.
Jack has to get over Kate and move on with his life.
Right. And sometimes you can hop in someone's cab and tell them what to do. Other times you have to let them look out at the ocean for a while. And Jacob had to get them as far away from the temple as possible. Someone bad is coming.
So, do you think no, I was going to say Ron and Rose. Rose and Bernard were ever candidates? Do you remember ever seeing their names on there?
I don't know. We only saw that the last 5 numbers, last 6 numbers were not crossed off. And they crossed off Locke at the time, so there were 5 left.
Okay.
So it seemed that way.
I was just thinking about the fact that, like, why would they have brought Bernard and Rose there just so they could heal them and let them live out their lives on the island? It just seems kind of like, why would they not have been candidates?
Right.
Like, if they're good people.
I would think that they would have been.
They were both seemingly good people, except for Rose was a super bitch in this way of watching the show.
Seriously,
I really loved her and thought she was this, like, caring woman, and no.
She's real demanding.
Yeah.
And I didn't care for the performance the second way through.
No.
This way through, because, like, she came off as, like, sassy black woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like...
And I loved Bernard. I always did. And he was still lovable in this version. But she was, like, whiny and sassy. I
want to clarify, I meant a caricature of that. Not, like, I know that's the character, that's what she was playing, and she is a black woman. I wasn't trying to sound like that. I was just saying, it's like a caricature of what a sassy black woman is. Always bitching and always, everything's a lecture. Okay, honey. Like, I just didn't like Rose. I don't know.
But watching it the normal way through, I do not remember ever disliking her.
Correct.
So it was just really weird to see it all in this order and to just think, God. I don't remember
liking any of the temple before either.
I hated the temple. I remember not liking it at all. And, like, today, when I finished this episode, I looked at Jeremy and I was like, the temple is freaking awesome.
Right. It really did.
And he looks at me like, you're freaking nuts. Yeah, and I was like, no, honestly, watching it this way through, the temple is so freaking cool.
It is. It really is.
And he's
cool.
like, no. I'm like, you got to watch it.
Yeah,
like, I'm going to make him go back and watch.
Chronologically?
No, just watch the last 3 episodes. And that's it. Just watch these 3.
Of Chronologically, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it's just 2. Last episode and this one?
Yeah, but
maybe 3.
He needs to see it all. Why not? I can put it on the network. I found the files.
We don't have time for that.
Oh, right. Because he doesn't burn through Game of Thrones once a year. He has plenty of time for that.
Oh my God. He just watched it again. Like, he just finished all of Game of Thrones again. And I'm like, I've watched it, like, when it was on.
We're going to finish The Leftovers next week, right?
Yeah, I watched it. It was good.
You did. I mean, come on. It was really fucking good.
I liked it. You know what? I feel like the last episode that I was watching...
We can't spoil anything.
I know.
Or anything, but...
No, I'm not going to spoil anything. I was sleeping during the episode where Matt was coming to Australia. That's all.
The boat thing.
Yeah, but I somehow, like, really had it in my head that he was on an ark with animals, and that was in my dream. It must have, like, been screwing it up, and I was like, I mean, this is getting ridiculous, you know. And then I was, like, mad and turned it off and never watched it again. But I was totally dreaming while I was watching that.
So did you watch that? Did you start from there?
I actually started from the episode before that.
So the Lori episode, Lori's was 6. That's right.
Yeah, I finished it. Okay. I mean, it was good.
I loved the way they ended it.
It was very good.
You know, that last episode, I didn't see it coming.
It was another gnat.
I never thought they would actually address the thing. I'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? Here. But anyway, Claire says if she didn't kill Justin, he would have killed her. And she's like, why did you say that Kate was raising Aaron? Because that's obviously untrue. And Jen's like, yeah, totally. I was lying to save Justin's life. And she's like, I saw the baby at the temple, actually. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's impossible, the amount of gnats that are here. I don't understand. There's no garbage in here. There's nothing in this room. So he says he saw him there, and she's glad he was lying. If Kate was raising Aaron, she'd kill her. And then Man in Locke shows up, and she's like, he goes, John? And she's like, it's not John. It's my friend. So she knows that it's not Locke.
But why wouldn't she know that it's not her dad?
What do you mean?
She says, I talked to my dad and I talked to my friend. So she knows it's not Locke unless she's calling Locke her friend.
Because she didn't really know her dad?
I know,
and she knew Locke. So she could tell the difference between Locke and Man in Locke. Just like anybody else. Remember, they were like, no, you're confident or you're not scared.
I understand, but I'm saying, so...
Maybe he's told her he's not Locke. Maybe he's outright
not
said,
her dad?
I don't think he ever told her he's not her dad. I think that one he was still using while he could. He can't go back to that now.
Right, he's stuck.
For whatever reason. I don't quite understand that one. Why he's stuck as Locke
because Jacob died.
There it is. Duh.
We already talked about
We
that.
did talk about it. I can't remember everything. Always. At the temple, Saeed bursts into Dogen's room to talk, and he says he wants answers. What was the test? He says, for every man, there's a scale. On one side, there's good. On the other side, there's evil. So it's the scale in the cave.
The light and dark, yeah.
Yeah. Hence the one candle is light, one candle is dark thing we got going on here. And the machine tells them how the scale is balanced, and his tipped the wrong way. He thinks it would be best if Saeed was dead. So Saeed's like, I'm a good man, you know? And Dogen and him fight, and all the way until the baseball falls on the ground. And Dogen's just about to kill Saeed. He stops because the ball fell.
Why?
You didn't hear that part?
I remember him talking about the ball.
Well, Dogen tells him to leave this place.
The ball was his son's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why did it falling on the floor make him stop killing him?
Because he thought about his son.
And he thought, I wouldn't want to kill this man because of my son is
no,
in my mind
just
right
that was more important than what was going on with Saeed.
He didn't want the ball touching the ground?
Probably didn't want to drop it. It showed disrespect to the potential memory. I don't know. I'm just guessing why.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So back with Claire, Man in Locke sends Claire into the temple. She wants her son back, and he's going to hurt the ones who won't listen, she says. Saeed grabs a backpack and some food, and Miles like, what's going on? He's like, I've been banished for being evil. No big deal. Yeah. Miles explains that they tried to save him, but he's like, you were dead for 2 hours, man. Like, whatever brought you back, it wasn't them. They were just as surprised as we were when you sat up. Again, what was it then? It wasn't Man in Black.
No, because it's not Man in Black.
But, I mean, he is following him by the end of the episode, in a way.
It's just because he wants to see Nadia again. He would do anything to see her again, which I understand. Right. Now, I mean...
But why is he offering the same thing as Jacob would be offering?
Jacob never offered that.
Yeah, he would never offer that.
If Jacob would have offered it, then Jacob wouldn't have let Nadia die in the first place.
Well, but so why did he make it sound like it was a Jacob thing, too? Did he offer you the same kind of a deal as Jacob? I'm pretty sure Dogen said that to him. It's a little bit later, but... Anyway, Claire comes in, and she says he wants to see you, and she says, who? You know who. Dogen says he's not a fool. If he steps outside the temple, he'll kill him. And Dogen tells Lyman to bring Claire to the hole and to bring him Shepard and Reyes. And he's like, yeah, I sort of can't find them.
Yeah, they're not here.
They put Claire down in the hole, and Dogen tells Saeed to come with him. It's like, I thought you wanted me gone. Oh, things have changed.
Yeah, you're the only person left that's technically a candidate, so...
No, you're the only person I can manipulate to try to kill my enemy. Or, yeah. No, never mind. He was just trying to get him killed still. Nothing changed. He thought maybe he could pull a twofer. No, it was no twofer. He never thought Man in Locke would die from the knife. He did that to get Saeed killed.
Oh.
Which is interesting.
That doesn't seem right, though, because why would you send somebody who you think is turned to darkness out into the darkness?
to be killed.
Yeah, but not if he thinks that he's already turned, then why wouldn't the darkness just use him?
Only because Saeed is professing to be good. So he's going to manipulate with that. Like, he wants more than anything to be good. It's almost Richard Alpert and Jacob.
Where is Richard?
Not sure at the moment. But it's nearly the same scenario.
In a tree,
right?
Starving to death.
It's nearly the same scenario where he comes to him just wanting salvation, so to speak, and all he can do is let him live forever. In this case, he's like, "Yeah, I want you to die." Pretty much exactly the opposite. So Dogen pulls a box out of a plant.
I'm sorry, I have to back up. I still think that Dogen only went to him because Jack was not there and Hurley was not there, and he needed to send a candidate out to talk.
But he didn't want him to talk. He wanted him to kill Man in Locke.
I get that.
But he didn't. He wanted Saeed to get murdered.
Are you sure?
By the smoke monster. I'm 100% positive. Yes, because he outright says it when he comes back. He says Claire is confused and under the influence of an angry man. For years he's been trapped, so now that Jacob is gone, now he's free. He won't stop until he destroys every living thing on the island. I just don't buy it. Dogen wants Saeed to kill him. He will come to you as soon as someone you know who has died. As soon as you see him, plunge this deep into his chest. If you allow him to speak, it's already too late. Now, I always thought that was sort of the crux of why he didn't die, because he did speak. He technically said hello.
Right.
So it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Quicker. But Dogen drowned, beat, and tortured him. Why would he help him? And he calls Saeed on the "there's still good in your soul" comment. Yeah, no, that's totally normal amount of work to be being done at 8:30 p.m. upstairs above us.
Is Dad sweeping the floor or something?
I have no idea what's happening up there. You may as well turn on that big fan where it sounds like the whole basement is...
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. In the jungle, real quick, Kate and Saeed cross paths. And then back at the temple, she heads in, he keeps going. Miles realizes Sawyer sent Kate packing. The way he said that to her, he's like, yeah, he told you to leave, huh? Yeah, I had a feeling I would have just been berated until I turned around and come back. So he tells her Claire's back, and he's like, she's weird but hot. In the jungle, Saeed stops for a drink until the smoke monster noises happen around him, and Locke shows up. Saeed stabs him in the stomach after he says hello, and then he pulls out the dagger and asks why he did that. And he just kind of gives it back to him. And he asks what Man in Locke is. They said, you're evil incarnate. He's like, I feel sorry for you. Dogen knew that you had no chance of killing me, and this wasn't the first time he tried to get someone else to do it. Shame on Saeed for being talked into it so easily. Now, Man in Locke asks him to deliver a message. What if I told you could have anything you wanted, anything in the entire world? And he's like, the only thing I ever wanted died in my arms, blah, blah, blah. I'll never see it again. And he's like, what if you could?
Did she die in his arms? It's like she got hit by the car. I thought she was, and then
she faded while he was holding her.
Okay.
Take me home. I want to go home, Saeed, she said, or something, and then died. So he's now found his loophole here to get Saeed by promising him that. He can't deliver that. I mean, he could deliver...
Yes, he can.
No, he can't, because she's not on the island, and he can't change form anymore, other than the smoke monster. He can't change out of Locke's presence.
But he can turn into the smoke monster, so can't he then just surround him and flash, like, things in his
pictures
past?
of Nadia aren't the same as what he promised.
Whatever,
you could
he's
see
lying.
Her again. That'd be great. I mean, I guess. But I like that he still needed Saeed to infiltrate. And it's very much like what Man in Locke did with Ben, with Jacob.
Yeah.
Is Dogen like a mini Jacob with the temple?
I don't know.
Because they said, I mean, I'll get there in a second, but anyway, Saeed returns and he talks to Dogen's people. He's like, there's a man in the jungle. He wants you to know that Jacob is dead. Because he's gone, none of you have to stay here anymore. He's leaving the island forever. Leave the temple and join me if you want. If you stay, you're going to die after sundown.
You're going to die.
Yep. Lennon asks Kate where Jack and Jen are, and she demands to know where Kate is and, throws him against the wall. And Kate's looking down at Claire in the hole and asks her to put the lotion in the basket. And Claire can't believe Kate's here. She still thinks they have Aaron, and Kate admits to having taken him. And she's like, I raised him, and he's the most beautiful, amazing little boy. But I came back to get you.
But I abandoned him because I'm a piece of shit.
Wouldn't it have made sense to say I left him with your mom?
Yeah.
That would have made a lot of sense to just be like, yeah, I totally left her with your mom. So she's getting to be grandma right now, and we'll be back soon enough. Claire says she doesn't need to be rescued. She says he's coming and they can't stop him. So she knows what the smoke monster is.
Yeah.
Which is cool that, like, he's made a real friend, seemingly. Like, somebody who actually listens to him and he can reveal who he is or what he is. You know, I wonder if he's told her. You know, and if so, she'll be able to tell somebody that.
And then she's like, Mr. Smoke Monster, can you go kill me a boar? Because I'm really hungry.
I'm sure she's learned to trap boar after all this time.
Yeah, with her freaking ankle traps.
So, anyway, Lennon is annoyed at Saeed. Cindy's leaving with the rest of the group. And Lennon thinks it's a bluff by Man and
kids? I don't remember seeing them.
Zach and Emma, yes. Saeed takes the blade back to Dogan, and he didn't think Saeed did it, but he absolutely did. Like, he thought he would get killed, but again, another piece of evidence there. He's like, that's twice you've tried to have someone else kill me, Saeed says to him. And then Dogan starts telling his past story where he says he worked at a bank. You know, he was a businessman, and one Friday he was promoted, and his colleagues took him out to celebrate. He had too much to drink. Every Friday, he also picked his son up from baseball. He was 12. The accident was very bad, but he survived, and his son didn't. Then in the hospital, a man came to him, a man he never met, told him he could save his son's life, but he has to come here to the island where he'd have a new job, and he could never see his boy again. Whoa. Jacob showed up there and did the John Locke shoulder touch thing to his boy and brought his boy back to life, Dogan's. But Dogan had to leave then. That's, you know what I mean? So I see why he's torn there, because he wants to be with his son.
Yeah, but any parent would do that. Any parent
would
just
say,
so they would
live.
Okay.
Obviously.
So save my child.
But so he says his name was Jacob. He drives a hard bargain. And he guesses Man and Locke offered a similar bargain. It's not, though. It's not really the same bargain. But there is something like that going on.
He promised to give him what he wants. At the time, that guy wanted his son to be alive, and right now...
but there was no dick move part of it, where it was like, your son can be alive, but you can't ever see him. Come to the island. There was none of that from Man and Locke's side, which, again, that seems more compassionate than...
Oh, yeah.
Than the, I need something out of it kind of thing. I mean, he does, though. I guess he does.
Well, that was more like a Ben move. So, like, yeah, we'll save your sister from cancer, but you have to come to the island. You can never meet your nephew.
There you go. That's a Ben move. Got it. And Ben emulating Jacob. And Jacob didn't give him any credit still.
Right.
It's sundown, and Saeed would like to stay, but he drowns Dogan in the pool instead.
Yeah.
And Lennon comes in and sees what he did, and he's like, that was the only thing keeping it out. You just let it in.
How?
Exactly. What is Dogan? He said he was the only thing keeping it out. What does that mean? I want to know.
I have no idea.
The temple is fucking interesting. I was so wrong.
I was yeah.
It was frustrating at the time. I think
we were irritated because we were given so much information that we couldn't comprehend it all at one time.
Or, no, it was just so scattered and puzzle pieced together.
Because that's what I'm saying. We were getting the sideways, and we were trying to figure that shit out, and we were getting all
the first episode was awesome of season 6, and then, like, it slowed down for a few, and it was like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
I want to get somewhere. Give me some of the stuffs, the answers. So we don't need those answers because we have them already. How is Richard unaging? Where did Man in Black and Jacob come from? You know what I mean? All those answers we now have. Or we started basically with all those.
I mean, the show was way better this way.
You think so?
So much better.
I mean, it's so much easier to understand.
Yeah.
Although
the first few episodes would be really hard if you have no idea who the characters are to begin with.
But the 70s would be tough.
Yeah.
Because that's out of order.
Right.
Like, that's the only one that almost feels like they should have put that after, but you can't because that fucks up the whole thing, the whole chronological aspect. But it would be fun to watch Chronologically Lost with somebody, and having never seen Lost, and see what their opinion of it is, along the way, or see if they can enjoy it.
it wouldn't mean as much. You wouldn't care for the characters as much. You wouldn't really get
the mystery wouldn't be there.
You wouldn't really grasp the like, what's with Smoke Monster? What is that? What's going on? Like, I mean, the jumping in time would make no sense.
The time jumps, yep. So, so he said he slits Lennon's throat and then says, "I know," after he told him that he let him in, and so Dogen must have been some sort of mini Jacob, like of the temple. He had the rule of it to where, or I know what it was. God damn, I'm an idiot. He was the only thing keeping him out, meaning he was a candidate. Dogen must have been a candidate.
That doesn't make sense either.
Why? Because he couldn't kill him, but Saeed could. Man in Black couldn't kill a candidate.
I thought Saeed was a candidate.
And he didn't kill him.
He didn't kill who?
Man in Black didn't kill Saeed. He couldn't.
I don't think that Dogen was a candidate.
No? But Jacob personally touched him.
I think that he must have maybe had a spell on the temple that now that he's dead, the spell is broken, like some sort of shit like that. What do you mean now magic is out the freaking window?
It's not Game of Thrones. You don't get to just use magic as a catch-all for stuff happening.
Okay, there's a smoke monster in the storyline, but spells are off the charts.
I mean, that makes it sound Once Upon a Time if you say spells.
I mean,
don't you see what I'm saying?
What else would Dogen dying matter? Now all of a sudden, when Dogen dies, then the smoke monster can come in.
It has to be related to the game. I don't know.
He's protecting the temple, and now that he's dead, nobody's protecting the temple.
But he wasn't literally doing anything.
No, he was there.
But that's not protecting
Didn't they pour all that salt shit around? Like, that's what, I mean...
But Claire would have broken that on her way in, or Saeed would have, or somebody would have made a hole in that so he could have gotten in.
Okay.
It's just... I don't understand Dogen's significance.
I don't think he was a...
Like the Jacob of the temple?
I don't think so.
No?
I never got that.
Okay.
I mean, he was in charge. He was the Richard Alpert of the temple.
But Richard Alpert was never really in charge of anything. I mean, I guess he was in charge of the people at some point.
Protected everyone, and that's all Dogen was doing, he was trying to protect the people at the temple.
I just don't understand why him dying means Smoke Monster can come in. That's what I'm saying. That feels like... I don't know if he's doing this or not. I don't know if he's following Jacob's rules anymore. The rules of the game that they were playing. Where he could not kill the candidates. Because he's had every opportunity to kill a bunch of the candidates
but
and he
Dogen
hasn't.
wanted to kill a candidate, so...
Dogen wanted to kill who? What candidate?
Saeed.
Right. Because he felt like he had turned evil and therefore wasn't a candidate.
So he could kill candidates, so
he's not Man in Black, though. The rule applies to Man in Black only.
Right.
He can't kill candidates, so that's why he would send Saeed in to kill Dogen if he were a candidate.
I don't think he was.
I don't think he is either, but who knows? It's possible. Maybe somebody has a picture of the wheel.
That would be nice.
And that's from the lighthouse.
I was trying to look like
it's too not HD. We'd have to watch it on the Blu-ray.
Oh yeah.
That'd be ridiculously clear, but there will never be a Blu-ray version of this show, which is why Jeremy doesn't want to watch it.
Oh, whatever.
Because it's not Blu-ray. Bad. It's not that bad. No, I agree. So the smoke monster comes in and starts grabbing people. Miles and Kate run inside and split up. Kate goes for Claire. Miles finds a room and blocks the door until Alana kicks it open and is asking for Shepard, Ford, and Austin. And then Frank and Ben and Son are there too. I mean, why are they there at the same time the smoke monster comes in?
And he's like, "Where's your husband?"
Yeah, like, what? He was here?
I'm sorry, what? Who?
Claire isn't interested in leaving, and Kate dives in the pit and hangs on the ladder at the last second. And then did you see people going in the smoke?
No.
Yeah, there was a person that went over.
Oh my god.
Because it had been
sucked him in?
Yeah, exactly. Ben sees Dogen dead and Saeed sitting there with a knife, and Ben says, "There's still..." he's like, "I found another way out. There's still time." And Saeed's like, "Not for me." And Ben's like,
"Yeah, I'm out." I backed away.
Just fucking, like, oh my god, that was way creepier than anything I've ever said. Miles tells Son that Jen was there yesterday, and Alana looks for symbols on a wall like Hurley was doing and finds the thing, finds the trapdoor. They get in there just as the smoke monster goes by. And Saeed struts out into the yard where everyone is dead and shit is on fire. That was an awesome shot.
Mm-hmm.
And did you catch the song?
Yeah.
The
Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket.
Save it for a rainy day. Claire and Kate come out too, and Catch a Falling Star eerily plays.
It was creepy.
Kate grabs a gun.
It was like Everybody's Dead kind of song.
It was very. It was like an alternate version of The Purge.
Yeah.
The shot of it all, you know, because of the fire and everything. I think that part of it was meant to show the evil. You know,
yeah.
You know, I never really thought about it like that because I don't believe Man in Black is evil. I don't believe he's genuinely evil. I especially don't believe that Boy in Black or the actual Man in Black before he became the smoke monster was evil. I think he was good.
But it's a lot more fun to be evil.
To play with that side of it, sure, but I don't think that if he had gotten off the island, it would have been the end of the world. I just don't believe that's the case.
No, he wasn't going to be like Godzilla landing in New York City.
That would have been the shit, though. Imagine if that were the last shot of Lost. Monster? I'm pitching this as the last shot of Lost. The last shot is, like, just regular people or back in, like, whatever happens on the island, Smoke Monster wins and gets to leave. And then it cuts to New York City, Times Square.
Yeah.
And you hear the tick, 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 and then, and it just starts charging through the frame, and then boom, end of Lost. It would be like, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. I feel like people wouldn't like that.
No, probably not. Manlock's standing outside the temple now with his people. That was why they were his.
Yeah.
All this fucking time. It's been building to that. That is when he was actually the leader of them.
What?
He's actually the leader of them now.
Yeah.
What he always wanted to be, John Locke, this was the prophecy. This is what they were building towards.
Okay,
not John Locke when he was John Locke.
Right.
Man in Locke was the fucking leader. That was yeah. So Saeed and Claire nod to Man in Locke, and then Kate just looks at him.
Kate's
shocked.
like, yeah, this guy's dead.
Yeah.
Why is he our leader?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And Locke starts leading the way, and that's the end of the episode.
It was good.
It was excellent.
It was a really good episode.
Mom bought dilly bars, so I'm going to go eat those.
I'm also going to have some dilly bars.
This is how to watch TV.
And eat dilly bars.
All these memories in my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.